Good day, everyone across North America. This is John Garmendi with Sony Professional Display Solutions of America, welcoming you back to another in our series of Tech Tuesday webinars. Today, we're going to have a special webinar with one of our alliance partner companies, Nureva. And today's webinar is going to be entitled Unlocking Seamless Collaboration with Sony and Nureva. As in the past, we have created these webinars so that our customers, end users, resellers, integrators, and consultants can stay informed and up to date on Sony's latest products and solutions. And as in the past, all of our webinars, all of our recorded webinars can be accessed via our YouTube channel. So I encourage you to look there for more. But today, we're going to focus in on, as I said, one of our alliance partners and some solutions that we've developed together. And I think many of you have already seen our SRG A40 auto framing camera. And I think we've explained in the past that we utilize artificial intelligence in both that camera and in our Edge Analytics device. And I know that AI these days is quite the buzzword, and there's quite a bit going on around it in terms of its utilization everywhere. It's almost ubiquitous. But Sony is not new to this game, and one of the things that we thought would be fun to share with you is a video of one of our founders speaking about his vision for AI many years ago. So we're gonna start with that video, and then when we come out of that video, we're gonna hand it over to our business manager for our imaging and analytics group, Chris Rapetti. And Ken Kobayashi. And before we go into the video itself, I'd like to welcome some colleagues that have joined me here today. I've already mentioned Ken Kobayashi, our business manager. We're also joined by Adrian Doty from Nureva and Brent Risky, also with Nureva. So we'll go into the video, and then we'll join Ken, and then I'll meet you back here for Q&A later.
ただいまご紹介に預かりました鈴鹿でございます。コンピューターって言葉は非常に誤解を招くんです。掛け算をやるとか割り算をやるとか足し算をやるとか、これはもっと広い意味でアーティフィシャルブレーンといったような意味でのコンピューターを考えなきゃならないんですけども、そういうコンピューターというものの細胞といいますか、一つ一つのエレメントってものが動かない形に変わりつつあるわけなんです。そういったその細胞全部が、セミコンダクターで置き換えられるということになって、そこにエレクトロニクスの進み方っていうのは非常に大きなものが期待されていると。それが世の中でもてはやされているということになるわけです。このアーティフィシャルブレーンといったようなものが一体どういうふうな働きをしてくるだろうかと。例えば非常に交通ってものが激しくなってまいりまして、人間が判断してステアリングをしてたりブレーキを踏んでたりしたんじゃ間に合わなくなってくる時代が早晩やってくるんじゃないかと。あとはステアリングはオートマチックにエレクトロニクスでやられるし、それから前の車との間は非常に距離の短いレーダーのようなものでその距離を測って自動的に速度の調整をやっていくといったように、人間の判断を使わずにこの車ってものを動かしていくってことが考えられるわけなんです。電子計算機のようなものが 電子の医療センターっていうようなところに使われる日もそう遠いことじゃないんじゃないかと。その他物を経営していくとか教育をしていくとかいうようなこともいいデータばっかりを蓄積して、そのデータの中から正しいものを選び出して次の推理を下していくというようなことは電子頭脳は非常に得意のところじゃないかと。人間の頭脳の働き、人間の大脳の働きなんてものは全然まだ生理学者医学者には分かっていないんで、これとエレクトロニクスと結びつけるなんてことはどうも到底夢にもできないっていうのが現状なんですけども、エレクトロニクスってものは好むと好まざるとにかかわらずあらゆる社会にどんどんこれから入ってきて、相当人間の代わりの仕事もやっていくんじゃないかということを考えているわけです。
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Ken Kobayashi. Let me talk about AI camera first. Before going to the detail of the AI camera, let me talk about professional PDC camera market. According to the research company, before pandemic, we used to have remote cameras already, but after pandemic, the demand for remote learning, remote working, and content creation accelerated, phenomenally. So the users are expecting have new remote experiences, new communication through remote something remotely. But at the same time, our customers are starting to face the challenges. This is the lack of the available resources. Even though our customer try to increase the number of camera, try to increase, the angle of cameras, there are a lack of operators. It is not easy to increase the operators so as to increase the camera numbers. So the universities, the corporate, and also the event content creation company are all facing the how to establish efficient automated workflow using some technologies. That's their current challenges. The approach of to that issue, the Sony tried to implement AI technology into the remote camera. We actually introduced AI built-in PDC cameras last year. The reason is because we Sony had a bunch of camera products from consumer to professional and developed, for example, real-time remote control technologies, the PDC, mechatronic control technologies, and also AI automated shooting technologies. So utilizing Sony, in-house technologies, we try to change this world by introducing AI built-in cameras. Let me recap history of Sony remote camera in these 5-6 years. Before pandemic, we had the cameras like these. Basically, we have two major lineups: BLC series and SLG series. BLC series are for critical content creation purpose, mainly used for broadcast, sports, face, that kind of applications. And also SLG cameras for general remote camera purpose. So mainly used for education, corporate, etc. Then during pandemic, we introduced SRG X40UH USB PDG camera that is Zoom certified. That is suitable for you know the collaboration conference applications. Then also we introduced the top value-added shooting camera, ILME FL7. This is a full-frame image sensor, lens interchangeable PDC camera. Then last year we introduced SRG A12 A40. This is built-in AI PDC camera. So without any operators, the camera can detect intended target and start tracking that person. Then last month, we just introduced a new BLC AM7. This is a flagship BLC camera with AI built in. Then in next year, we are planning to implement AI capability into FL7. So we broadened the lineup of AI during the pandemic, and we are trying to expand AI capability into a PTC camera lineup. Let me quickly recap of our new BLC AM7 PTC camera. This is 4K 60p built-in AI camera. So expecting to ship from January 2025. So this is 1-inch sensor type, 4K 60p camera, 20 times optical zoom, HDR, and also the built-in PDZ auto framing is the most important features. And this camera is suitable for broadcast, sport, events, face auditorium, and ballroom. So we introduced this camera at NAB show, and we got 3 different hours. That was great. On the other hand, there are different voice from the market. We highly developed our AI, especially from the motion tracking technology. So presenter tracking, facial detection. But at the same time, there are different the voice from the market. That is automated system by sound trigger. So speaker tracking, voice detection, and camera switching based on sound location is now needed, especially for corporate and education. So we came to have tighter relationship with Nureva, who has the strong technology in this field. Lastly, about HETMA. HETMA is a Higher Education Technology Members Alliance. We are closely communicating with HETMA, and they have approved program that allows manufacturer to submit a product for evaluations, where subject matter expert members install the equipment in live environment to test. And approved products are then installed as effective choices to listed as effective choices to install throughout higher education environment. And now SOG A40, A12 are certified by HETMA for a strong camera feature and for the powerful AI out-framing features. Okay, now let me hand over to Adrian from Nureva. So, Adrian, please take it away. Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ken. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Adrian Dowdy, Director of North American Sales here at Nureva. And today I'll take you through a quick introduction of who Nureva is, and then we'll talk about why we are allied so closely with Sony. We are also a HETMA member, so it's a great opportunity to work together with Sony, obviously a titan in the industry. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Nureva, quick introduction. Nureva makes the HDL line of audio conferencing systems, and we develop an entire audio platform that is based around these three components. So on the far left is our patented microphone mist technology. That's the underpinning of everything in our hardware, which is the second bucket here, our audio conferencing systems. How we deliver our audio experience is obviously through our hardware. And then finally, we back all of that up with Nureva Console, our cloud-based ISO 27001 certified enterprise management software, where you can access advanced features, camera tracking setup, everything you need. So we really are a small but growing modern audio conferencing system specialized in large and really large rooms. Now, as Ken alluded to, camera tracking is a huge driver of discussion right now. People want AI-driven camera tracking, but there are multiple ways that you can approach camera tracking to solve that problem, right? First is a simple approach, which is the Nureva camera zones, but there are also deeper integrations as you go down the stack. So specific camera vendors often have their own integrations. There are control system integrations. And as you move from left to right here in my three buckets again, trying to keep it consistent, you go from accessibility and ease of use all the way up to complexity, capability, and cost, right? It can get very expensive to support some of those larger, deeper control system integrations because you've got to add people, programming. There's lots of ways that come to it. What we do is with Sony, we use our HDL410 audio conferencing system and Sony cameras to deliver a simple, very large room experience. And so what we've got today that we're going to show you in just a minute here is this exact system. What you are going to see is a real life example of this system in action. It's an HDL410, the Sony SRG A40 camera that Ken just mentioned, along with two SRG XP1s running through and using a simple Teams system and the internet. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Brent, who will walk us through it right now.
Thank you, Adrian. So folks, this is our demo room in Ottawa, Canada, and thank you for joining us. This room is quite large. It measures 35 feet this way by 40 feet this way. And all the microphone coverage in this room is being provided by, as Adrian mentioned, the HDL410 system, which is our flagship model. It consists of two audio bars that mount on the wall. You'll see one on the blue wall above that display, and the second one's on the white wall above the other display. The other component that comes with it is our Connect module, and that makes up the entire hardware package of the system. Two audio bars that contain 12 microphones each and two 20-watt speakers each, plus the Connect module, which is the brains of the operation and provides all the processing to give you the experience you're hearing today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a demonstration as I walk around the room. I'm going to do two things. It's going to show you how the audio system works within the Nureva HDL410, but also the camera switching capabilities that are based on our technology. So as I walk around the room, the 410 will actually know where I'm located based on my voice data and activate a camera that's preset for that zone in the room. There's 3 zones right now in this system. That's the maximum you can do. And we have 1 camera attached to each of those zones. So as I walk around the room, you're going to notice it switch from one zone to another. For example, I'm going to head back here to this interactive display right now. And let's say I wanted to do some whiteboarding for people on the far end of the call. Well, we have a camera focused on this area of the room. So as I get close to the display, you can actually see what's happening as I whiteboard. And you notice that simple switch right there. Now I'm going to head back to the rear of the room, and you're going to see something different. This is where the SRG A40 kicks in. I'm just waiting for the cameras. There we go. So not only do we have the camera switching working here right now, but you also notice that the auto tracking or auto framing built into the SRG A40 is activated. So you can layer the AI technology on top of the simple switching technology of the Nureva system to give you a rich experience for whether it's a classroom, a corporate meeting room, or even a training room. And I'll walk around the back of the room here. I can even walk into the corner here and have a little intimate conversation with this plant. There's nobody else in the room with me here. I'm a little lonely, but the camera tracks me as I walk around the entire space. So I'll do a full lap of the room here just to show you that it can follow me, but also the audio coverage throughout the entire space. And as I head back to the front of the room, we'll switch back to the main camera view. And that's how the system works. So this room also is available for you folks. If you want to book a live demo, we're going to provide a link here in the presentation. And you can go online and book a demo. We're happy to do that. It takes about 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops, and you can book that at your leisure. Adrian, did I miss anything?
Thanks so much, Brent. So there you have it, a real practical use case of static and auto tracking camera angles delivered simply through the Sony and Nureva partnership. Again, here is the entire wiring diagram for everything we looked at today. It's a remarkably simple way to deliver advanced features without the headaches associated. And so when we talk about how we work together and why the value, it really comes down to that ease of camera switching. As you just saw, we were able to blend simple technology with very advanced camera technology to deliver an end user experience that's designed to be captivating and engaging. And the nice thing about having that ability is you can create the experience you want to deliver. You're able to change out cameras, camera positions, and thanks to Sony's amazing tracking, you could even have multiple tracking cameras if you needed to. It really is up to your imagination. Like I said earlier, we back all of that up with our remote device monitoring, so you are able to manage the units from outside of the room. It really is a complete solution designed to deliver flexibility, great audio, and ease of use. And I think this is where I hand over to John for questions. Oh, no.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Brent. And thank you, Ken. I continue to encourage everyone to submit your questions, please. We've got some time left. We've got a few questions that are already come in, but as I said, encourage everyone to submit your questions via the in-event question panel. I just want to make a couple of comments on what we've just seen. And again, it's as Adrian mentioned, it's the tight integration between Sony and Nureva, our alliance partner. And I wanted to take a minute and speak just a little bit about the Alliance Partner Program. As many of you know, Sony has a very robust Alliance Partner Program with well over 100 companies listed that we've got interoperability, that we exhibit interoperability with at a number of different levels. And we have alliance partners that cut across the entire spectrum of AV solutions manufacturers, AV-IT solutions manufacturers that are complementary to Sony. And they range from signage CMS partners who run natively on our Android-based SoC, which is part of our Pro Bravia display. We've got audio partners like Nureva. We've got control system partners, as well as hardware partners, mounts, frames, racks, power conditioning, and so on. So I encourage everyone to take a look at our alliance, a long list of alliance partners, and I especially encourage everyone to look more deeply into the reference designs that we have put together with Nureva. We've got a couple of questions that have come in, and let's see. The first one is from Alan, and he asks, "What's the biggest room an HDL 410 can cover?" So that's either for Adrian or Brent.
So the largest room that an HDL 410 can cover is approximately 35 by 55. So it's a very large room. We've seen some people extend that out to about 40 by 60, but our official maximum is 35 by 55 feet.
Perfect. Thank you. 35 by 55. Uh, okay. So we have a question here from Charles, and it looks like this one is for Ken. Ken, Charles is asking, what's the major difference between Sony BRC and SRG cameras?
Okay, good question. We have two lineups, and major difference is only BLC has the gen lock, the tally lamp, especially for the multi-camera operation. And BLC also has a larger image sensor. The typical SLG camera has 1/3 inch sensors, but BLC camera has 1 inch sensor. So the BLC camera is more for critical content creation. The other one is BLC camera is designed to operate with other Sony cameras like handy camera or system camera. So color matching, some control protocol is the equivalent, the same as other Sony cameras. That's a major difference between BLC and SIG. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Yeah, Sony has a long history in the development of cameras and also imagers. So imaging devices, very, very strong DNA. Adrian, I think this next one is for you. It's from Catherine. And she asks, are the Nureva HDL systems certified for Teams and Zoom?
Great question, and a pretty common one these days. Yes, the HDL 300 and 310 and 410 are all certified for Microsoft Teams. The 300 and the 310 are certified for Zoom, and we expect to have the 410 Zoom certification within the next couple of weeks here.
Thank you. Thank you. This one's from Anthony, and I think this one is for Ken. Okay. Anthony asks, how can we start auto tracking by using the Sony AI PTZ camera?
Okay, good question. There are two ways to to run auto tracking. The first one is to pick up someone on the web GUI. The camera actually recognizes the person in the frame, and on the web GUI, we can see the gray square on a detected person. Then, if we click one person, that person will be picked up by the camera. The second one is a little automated pickup. We can set auto start mode. Once we set auto start mode, and when somebody get into the detection zone, that person will be picked up by the camera. There are two ways to start auto tracking. Thank you.
Thank you. And we actually have another one for you, Ken. Has to do with the PTZ auto framing upgrade availability. This question is from Terry, and she wants to know when will that be available?
For FF7 upgrade, we'll plan to have the next spring 2025. Yep.
Spring 2025.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I think I'm going to toss this one back to Adrian. And yeah, this one is from Tom asking, can you do camera switching and tracking at the same time?
Yes. So that Brent was able to show that through our integration, and this one actually comes up a lot because people think it's almost too easy. But we have many customers who do simple camera switching across three static cameras. But one of the things that we really, really love about the Sony solution is we're able to do static camera angles along with the live tracking solution. If you're going to do it, the tracking has to be quite good. But yes, you're fully able to mix both with the Nureva Camera Zones solution.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And you mentioned, I don't know, Adrian, I don't know if it was you or Brent, but you mentioned the ability for customers, end users, potential customers to actually book that room that Brent is where Brent is seated. How do they actually go about that, right?
So on Nureva.com, the top right corner of every page, there's a button there that just says book a demo. And many of our rooms are actually directly connected to the website, so you can't book over someone's meeting. But you are able to request a specific demo from the room. You always get a live human. It's not recorded, so people trip over things. The room might be rearranged as Brent has needed. But if you head to Nureva.com, either at the link that was provided in the webinar or just clicking that button at the very top, you can book any of our rooms. Only our large room has the Sony gear in it, so that's the best one as far as I'm concerned.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And I would you say that is the best way to experience the solution as opposed to an in-person on-site, bring all the stuff in and demo it.
It it is one because the problem you're trying to solve is not really the problem in the room, right? You need to solve that problem in the room, but the people who need to experience it are those who are outside of the room. So what better way than to try that first before shipping gear in and setting everything up? It's often quite disruptive too to do that. So let us help you out there, and we can involve Sony and your dealer or your friends. We've had people forward their demo booking to 16 additional participants before, so it's fun.
And Adrian, you said you're the vice president of North American sales?
I'm the director of North American Sales.
Director of North American sales. Well, I gave you a promotion there.
Thanks.
So can you tell us a little bit about your go-to-market and how you service the integrator channel and their clients?
Absolutely. So we work exclusively through the channel integrators, distributors in North America. Popular ones, everyone you would know. We have several hundred dealers who represent our product across the United States and Canada. We layer an area manager for each region, and in Canada, Brent is actually primarily responsible for all interactions in Canada. And we do everything from live demos to on-site events. One of the things that we've learned, and that's really important to us as we go forward, is you can't build solutions by yourself. We really believe in a best of breed approach. And so we work with an ecosystem, just like Sony does, to build solutions with various different manufacturers to meet various needs, right? Everyone has a different need, their own use case, their own ideas. We do everything we can to keep it flexible and do everything from pre and post sales technical support down to hands-on demos in room. I mean, Brent has been on site with customers setting up systems as recently as last week.
Very good. Very good. A follow-up question from Tom, actually, asking about are there any success stories that Nureva and Sony can share at this time?
Absolutely. We have Canada's largest university who has deployed the Nureva and Sony solution together. It's still being installed, so we can't use their name, but I've given you enough of a hint that you can find it. And if you're looking for sort of the actual use case of, is it really this easy to do? We have a great case study on our website from Duquesne University that talks about their experience installing HDL systems in several rooms.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, I appreciate that. Taking a quick look in the chat right now. I don't see any other questions, but if there are, I would encourage our attendees to please submit. We still have time. But in the meanwhile, I think I'll speak a little bit more about the relationship between Nureva and Sony, and I think that our conversations together really started in earnest on the floor of last InfoComm, where we got together as is the case on the last day, where manufacturers tend to visit one another and speak, and we started a good dialogue there, and had the opportunity for the folks from your team to come in and see all of the cameras and the imaging solutions that Ken and his team have, and we started a discussion that ultimately led us to where we are today. And now, a year later, not only will you be in our booth speaking with us, but we've actually invited Nureva into our booth as one of our partners in the collaboration and the UC area. And I invite everyone to come and see the solution that we're going to be showing together. There will be both Sony and Nureva representatives in that area to take everyone through the solution. And Sony's booth is W2201, which is in the West Hall. And if you want to go over to Nureva's booth as well, Adrian, your booth number is?
I thought I had it in front of me, but I don't. We're in the other hall. I'm going to try and find it.
Sorry to put you on the spot. Okay. Well, we encourage everyone to visit both booths for sure. But again, I think I think it really is a testament to our commitment to the Alliance Partner Program, the robust nature of our partnership with Nureva, and we're looking forward to doing many more things together. So I'm going to take one more peek at the questions. I do see a couple. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Heather, and this I think is for Adrian. When I type in the link, it goes there, but it says there are no North American partners. Heather, I'm not sure if that's for Sony or for Adrian. So if you can clarify. And we've got a question from. We've got plenty of questions. I'm sorry. I apologize to Philip and Edgar. I was looking in the wrong place here. So, Philip, let's take yours first. Philip says, when the system is configured, can we adjust some fine details like the amount of headroom or headspace?
So I'll answer that. Yes, it was our experience, but Ken can probably answer much better. I know that for when we set it up, the A40 had several options for tracking. So Ken, I think this is actually for you.
Yep. There are several menus that can change the composition of framing. So we can, set the different headroom, large to small. So and also we can change the body size, and of course we have three different framing mode: full body, waist up, and close up. So in the demo, we actually presented. The full body mode. But if we change it to waist up shot, so there will be less headroom, and we can see more face and the gestures of speakers. So yeah, we can adjust. Depends on depending on the request. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Ken. We do have another question. We've got a question from. Let's see. Tom, and again, this is probably for either one of you. Tom is asking which cameras are available to be used, and there is a way to get the camera feed to an HDMI so I can connect it to a hardware codec.
So the piece of hardware we're using in the middle of the Sony cameras is a Cam 230 camera switcher, which ingests our audio data and handles the simple switch. It supports 2 USB and 1 HDMI camera. I don't know if we've ever shuttled it off to a recorder, but I'm sure that that's possible. As far as what cameras support which, I'll hand over to Ken for that.
Well, with Nureva system, SRG X40UH, that is a USB camera, and also the SRG A40 A12, which has HDMI output, and also SRG XP1, which has HDMI and USB. Yeah, these these three lineups, at least we confirmed. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Ken. We've got actually someone who's sent some information our way. So Garrick, thank you very much. Confirms that the Nureva booth is C, as in Central, 5664. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that. I owe you one.
Jen is here. Hello, Jen. Thanks for joining us. Jen asks, in a boardroom setup, can multiple people around the table be tracked, or is it only presenter tracking? And she says here, sorry, John, you know I had to ask.
I think I need to answer. This is the based on the tracking camera outward. At this moment, our camera start pick up the first person in the detection zone. So as of right now, the only first person in the detection zone will be picked up, even though whoever he is, speaker or just sitting on the desk. But we are planning to develop some the tracking the how can I say priority into our camera. So once we register the presenter in advance, then only when a speaker get into the detection zone, he or she will be picked up. Now that's our future roadmap. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ken. And there's a similar question from Edgar. Edgar asks, and this one probably is for the Nureva folks. What is the experience like with multiple people talking?
So that is entirely dependent on if those people are being disciplined or not. So the Nureva audio system will pick up everyone in the room. That's our claim to fame. Our microphone mist is designed to pick up everybody in a space. Now, if you have camera zones set up, it will flip between the different zones. Now, the way we account for that is you are able to set specific delays. So let's say in our room example here for Brent, we don't want to go to that presenter camera except with a 2-second delay. That delay is customizable. So we have it set for 1 second, but you could make it less than that. You could make it more than that. And by paying attention to those details, you develop a really good experience. So the answer is it is as chaotic as you want it to be, and we've got tools for you to design around that chaos as required for your use case.
Fantastic. We do have a question from Stephen. Stephen asks, once the equipment is physically installed, how long does it take to configure and set up a room like the demo room?
So I will shout out to Sony first, and then I'll talk about Nureva. So I'll be perfectly honest, and I'll say that we had the A40 in the room already, so our time there was 0. But the two static shots, the Sony XP1s, we received about an hour before we set the room up on Thursday of last week, and between 3 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Eastern, we had everything set up and ready to go. Brent, I believe you were in the room helping do the setup and design. So I don't know if you want to talk about the experience specifically.
Sure. So it's very simple setup. The only really thing you've got to maybe take a little time to do is when you map out the zones in our software to make sure that they don't overlap and that the zones give you the room coverage that you want. For example, like where I'm sitting right now, we wanted to make sure that one of the camera zones gave you that full room view, and that's why we've got this mapped out. Even though the zone that I'm in is only mapped out at the front of the room, with that camera perspective, it gives us a full room view. So that was the hardest part, was literally just mapping out the right zones and then making sure that the camera shot or the camera frame or framed the video or the image the way we wanted to for that space in the room. So it's not hard at all. Quite simple.
We've got a question here from Brian. He asks, how does the camera handle a handoff of presenters? Meaning start with one person and another person enters the shot. What happens? This might be for Ken, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, our out framing algorithm is trying to keep that person as long as possible. But once we can step over the pan limit area, or if someone hide completely behind the wall, or get out from the detection zone for intended seconds, we can set timeout. For example, if we set 3 seconds timeout, if a presenter hide behind the wall 3 seconds, the camera will release that person, then return to the home position, then start picking up somebody who entered through detection zone next time. So we can with the combination of the pan limit and timeout setting, we can hand over the presenter that pick up the person from one to another. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. We've got a question from Philip. Philip asks if he can get a copy of this presentation. And yes, Philip, we've what we will do is have all of everyone who's registered and asks for a copy of the presentation, we will provide it. So thank you for that, Philip. There's also a kind of a shout out here for uh, for our producer, and there is a comment saying, "What platform are you using for this presentation?" It looks really great. So, thank you for that feedback. Garrick says he's going to stop by our booth to see the joint solution. Thank you very much, Garrick. Um, Chris Taps has a question here. What about Dante AV for 10 cam support? Adrian or Brent, maybe we can toss that over to you.
So the HDLs support Dante themselves. So the HDL 410, 310, and 300. Nureva worked with Audinate to get a specific and recommended adapter in order to put the HDLs onto a Dante network. However, we have not tested the camera switching on Dante.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And yes, Michael, I'm sorry. I gave you an incomplete answer. Michael, the platform that we're using is called Inevent, and INEVENT.com. Okay. Request from Heather. We see it. There was another question here. Philip, I did answer your questions. Edgar, okay, what platform are you using? Yep. Ken, does the camera have USB-C type with tracking?
At this moment, no. But with external box, we call HAI video presenter REAC 1000 and SRG X40UH. We can provide the AI tracking with USB-C output. So not built in, but the with external AI box we can do.
And Ken, here's another question for you. It's from Brad. He asks, what is the maximum distance for camera auto tracking?
Oh, good question. Yeah, it depends on actually the camera zoom capability. Our SLG A40 has 20 times optical zoom, and with our clear image zoom, that is Sony's magnification technology, up to 40 times in Full HD. With our SLG A40, we already tested 100 feet distant tracking, and it went really well. So we promise we can do 100 feet away, but more than 120, 150. Let's test together. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ken. There's a question from Joseph asking, is it always tracking the speaker? Meaning, if someone in the audience has a question, will it switch to that person?
Well, good question. The SRJ A40 triggered by the speaker tracking, but with our external AI box RAC 1000, that has the different AI feature that is to pick up the questioner once that person stand up, the camera instantly the zoom the person. So we call the close up by gesture. That is the feature of our RAC 1000. So with the combination of speaker tracking camera and the close up by gesture features with our RAC 1000 external AI boxes, we can do the same thing. The both the thing at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Just to clarify, it's the REAC
C1000.
1000, yeah, which is our sometimes referred to as Edge AI
Yep.
appliance, and it's a
Yes.
companion product to our imaging and our cameras. So Vinod has a question, Adrian, basically asking, about the noise canceling on
Mhm.
the Nureva solution. Does it cancel any sounds that are not human conversation?
Yes. Yeah. So it is constantly, our microphone mist is constantly listening to the audio of any given space and focusing in on human voices. There's actually a feature called intelligent sound targeting that is actively looking for background noise, fans, HVACs, air handlers, sort of the most common sources of loud background noise in a room. And what we do is we simply mute the microphones closest to that source. So, oh, my lights are going to turn off in my room here. Sorry.
Thank you.
So the system will automatically mute the microphones closest to that sound and just not pick it up. So it's built right into the system. It's completely automatic. There's no programming or calibration required. It's doing it all the time through our continuous auto calibration algorithm.
Great. Thank you, Adrian. There's a question from Kenneth. Um, Interesting. What if the speaker is on a large screen? So what if the speaker is on a large screen in the room, and and at a remote location, not actually in the room? How can Nureva deal with that type of scenario?
So we'll echo cancel that because the sound of a speaker is not a human voice. Now, you could use a static shot like Brent showed, where you could have someone trigger the camera to go there. Their audio would come through the platform and the camera would shoot onto a display where that person is speaking from. But natively, we're not going to pick up speaker audio in a room, mostly because one, that would create a huge delay, and then two, it might actually create a feedback loop that you want to avoid.
And this one, I think, is a question, um, that asks really about the future. It's from David. He says it's exciting to think about multi-camera shoots for corporate collaboration or hybrid teaching, getting the kind of interesting multi-camera effect we've seen in TV and movie production for Pro AV. Uh, so the two questions: Are we there now, and how do we see this evolving? And I'll just toss that out to the group.
I'd say yeah, we're right there, right? The combination of the Sony cameras in our large room with our audio driven switching, we were able to get some pretty amazing shots. I mean, as a one real world example, Ken, you'll enjoy this. We tried to outrun the camera tracking on the A40 in that room, and we couldn't. It follows you when you're running. So you can get very advanced and really create something special with what exists today. As far as where we're going, I don't know. I'll tell you after Infocom. Ken?
Yeah, from the camera side, now we implemented a part of simple AI algorithm that pick up detect human face in the detection zone, then keep tracking that person, analyzing his or her skeleton, head position, and deep pattern of outfit. But with evolving AI features, we can try to pick up not only human, like racehorse or dog or basketball or something. So that will be expected in the future for the old tracking cameras. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Questions here, Heather. I see that you're having problems with the link. We'll rectify that and send you out a corrected link. I think we're actually updating that website right now in advance of Infocom. So hang tight there. Paul, I think this question's been answered by Ken. Where Paul asks, do the cameras zoom in and focus on speaking participants in a room, or do they just stay on the presenter? And Ken, I believe we've answered that one already. There is a question here from August, and August asks on latency. He said the demo shows a delay in camera switching from one camera to another. What is the typical delay in switching?
So it's configurable. Some people have it set to 0, right? Where it switches instantly. We find that to be a little distracting. We have it set at 1 second, but you can set it to whatever you need it to be. And what you need it to be is very often use case dependent, right? We think of the classroom, which is where we've seen these multi-camera setups be set before. You want to have a pretty quick switch to the audience, but maybe a slower switch back in case someone pauses to fill their thought. So you need to be able to configure that, and we give you that option.
Fantastic. Thank you. I did see we've got a couple of requests for the presentation. Yes, we can share. Heather, I see that you've asked for it as well as a number of others. So we will do that. Yes, come to the Sony booth for a demo. Vinod, yes, you can get a demo and we can talk to you in general about pricing. But specific pricing discussions, we'd encourage you as an integrator to please go through your distributor. Correct? And let's see. I think this will be our last question, and this is from Jocelyn. Yes, she also wants a copy of the presentation and an updated link as well. Absolutely. So with that, I apologize for missing initially many of your questions. I was looking in the wrong place, so I apologize to everyone for that. But I think we hit every single one of them. And I really appreciate that you have all spent this almost hour with us today. I know your time is valuable, and we are very, very grateful for your attention as always. We look forward to seeing many of you at Infocom, and please mark your calendars for our next Tech Tuesday presentation, which is actually a rerun of one that we've done in the past called The Intersection of AI and IT. So thanks again, everyone. And thanks to our panel and our participants, Adrian, Brent, and Ken, as well as our producer, Chris. This is John Garmendi from Sony's Professional Display Solutions. Wishing you all a very profitable day, and stay healthy, stay safe. See you soon.